everybody. I posted a video last night about the launch of what I said at the time based on the news that I got, which was only on for no more than 5 minutes prior to me posting the video, just to get the word out there, because it was only on one news network at the time, about the rocket, which allegedly was what they launched, North Korea that is. At the time I said ICBM, but again, I'm not a journalist. I'm not involved in the government anymore. As you can see, I am an Army veteran. I got my blue cord hanging up in my car here. I was an infantryman. But anyway, this video is not about me. I'm just putting out there a couple concerns I have about this whole thing, aside from the threat level and what it can do to destabilize not only the region and the United States, the economy, and more importantly, the potential hundreds of thousands to millions of lives on both sides. We're not hearing much about what exactly Korea can do. And I did hear, I'm not sure if any of you watched some of the other private news entities on here. Alex Jones particularly is who I'm thinking of. But does North Korea have something we don't know about? Because the thing I can't understand is, we supposedly have the technology to not only the THAAD system, T-H-A-A-D, which I'm not an expert on it, but supposedly is to shoot the missiles, ICBMs that is, or I'm not sure, but I believe medium or short range missiles as well that may be carrying nuclear, chemical, or any kind of warhead out of the sky. But we do have an aircraft that is specifically designed to detect any kind of radiation, which is flying around North Korea. I would imagine on a 24/7 basis at this point, and any detection of radiation, this is capable of shooting a laser beam immediately to take it from even launching, which I believe may have happened yesterday. North Korea, with their ego, I believe probably would not admit that. And the US, though this is not a classified weapon that we have, they may want to keep it, if that is the case and we did destroy the missile, they may want to keep it classified as well, for different reasons. So I was originally upset that we didn't, they were going to launch this missile. No one knows what it could have had on the tip of it. I don't think that information has been brought out there yet. And the last report I heard was it was pointed at South Korea or Japan, where we have, tens of thousands of service members who I care dearly about as a veteran, of course, and as an American. I'm sure most of you do too. And it makes me wonder, we didn't see a response like we were told. We were told if they even attempted to launch anything, we were going to go in there and blow them to, kingdom come, for lack of better words. We didn't do that. Then they did try to launch it, and although it failed, that, why it failed is yet to officially be, was it a failure of the missile, a mistake on North Korea's part, or did we destroy it with this laser system, which we know exists because we have it on at least one battleship that we have. It's capable of destroying anything from moving airplanes, helicopters, personnel, tanks, anything. It just burns a laser hole right through it. It's amazing. I forget what it's called, but check it out. So maybe we did respond. That being said, I think, and I'm not a war strategist either, but using common sense, let's face it, they have a 1950s military. Yes, they have a lot of manpower with rifles, but we have a lot of power also, and we have a lot of technology, and one of our missiles can take out a large portion of their military, especially this new one we all found out about over the weekend, officially called Mother of All Bombs, otherwise Moab, which has a mile radius, which is pretty big. It's the largest non-nuclear weapon, which is unclassified, at least at this point, in our whole entire arsenal, or in the world's arsenal for that matter. I did hear Russia claims that they may have one that's 4 times larger. That's yet to be said or confirmed. But if we destroy his nuclear plant and all of his sites, that can be done simultaneously, without any time for him to react, other than with conventional weapons such as mortars and artillery rounds, things like that. Because his military is so outdated, he wouldn't stand a chance if we were to take out his or any ICBM or medium short range missile silos he does have, and the ability to make more, which I refer back to what I just said, taking out his nuclear capability plant, where he makes them. But I'm sure I trust President Trump. I believe he's got something. We know there's special forces, Navy SEALs, Delta Force on the ground in North Korea as we speak. You can almost count on that. I'd bet my Lincoln on it. And there's something in store. Donald Trump, like him or hate him, I personally love him, but no one can say he's a stupid man. I believe, he's a man of his word. He does have brains, and he does love this country, whether anyone wants to admit that or not. And he will get this done right with minimal loss of life on both sides, for that matter. I firmly believe that. So, yes, my last concern is the possibility of North Korea having an EMP, a electric magnetic pulse, in outer space. I think in 2013, do not quote me on that year, please, because I get some negative feedback sometimes. You make one little mistake, people want to attack you on here. So don't quote me on the year, but I believe I heard it's 2013. We agreed to let them launch what we believed was a satellite, but now I'm hearing that it might not be a satellite. North Korea claims that they have an EMP, which is stationed in outer space. Russia has one, China has one, I'm sure the US, we have one. Electric magnetic pulse. Most of you probably know what that is. I gotta make this video quick, so I'm gonna wrap it up. What it is, in kindergarten terms, it's based in orbit, and it can go on top of a country, essentially, and shoot some kind. Again, I'm not a genius when it comes to how all these weapon systems work. I've used every one in the Army, conventional weapons, but as far as scientific stuff, I'm not too up to date on it. But I do know what it can do, and basically it has a capability of shooting a magnetic pulse down and taking out our grid. I don't know if one pulse can destroy the grid of our whole nation and cripple it. I don't know how long, if so, how long it would take before we can be up and running again. So that's a big problem. And if they do have that out there, or whatever they do have in outer space, whether we know it's an EMP or just a satellite, I think that's the first thing that needs to be destroyed, and I'm sure most would agree with me, because if they take out our electrical grid, yes, we can have if any country wishes to attack us, they say there's in America, a gun behind every blade of grass, so to speak. But that may be true. We Americans love our weapons, and we have plenty of them, Lord knows. But if our grid goes down, we're very vulnerable. We rely way too much on technology. That's everything. We wouldn't have food. I mean, literally, if our electrical grid went down. And starving people who are dying of famine aren't very capable of fighting any kind of war. All of our equipment, which I know I got out in 2010, we were all computer based then. I was part of a striker division, which is essentially an 8-wheeled tank, and we could fire 50 caliber machine guns, Mark 19 grenade launchers, other artilleries. It was a cool machine, but all those weapon systems were fired from without anyone being exposed. I was able to drive blacked out with just watching a screen, a thermal image, so any condition I could see. But if EMP were to take all that out, our cars, our everyday vehicles, not to mention our military equipment, would fail. So that's, I think, a more larger threat than any nuclear conflict. We need to get rid of these EMPs first and foremost, and then move on from there. But again, I do believe Trump, is a good-minded president. I think any knowledge that he would lack, he would listen and trust, and do whatever the wishes of our commanders, or the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who do have knowledge of all of these things, advise him of. So that's all I have to say, and I just want to put that out there. I would love to hear responses, especially from people who do know about this, especially with the EMPs and anything else I brought up in this video. If you have any knowledge or comments, please bring them. I got a little mad at my last one with an ignorant comment somebody left, but I'll tell you to end this. I don't put anything on any of my videos that is not factual, at least to the point of that I did not hear from a credible source, even if that is MSNBC, which is not my first choice of news, but they were the only ones covering this at first last night. So, in other words, I don't make any of this stuff up based on my own ideas or whatnot. So, if anything I say is ever wrong, please correct me, and but don't condemn me, because I don't make things up. All right, I do these videos to put the words out there, to get some conversation started, so we can educate one another, and that's really it. I love this country, and I know most of you Americans do too, and God bless you all, and hope you all had a good Easter, and I'm going to end it with that. Alright? God bless. Peace be with you.